I decided that I would split this one video into two videos since it ended up being almost an hour, actually it's a little bit more than an hour. And I decided that I would release part 2 first. So what you're seeing is part 2. You really need to watch part 1 so you can get introduced to who this young lady is and understand why I am so enamored with her and why you should be too. She's a fine example of a child's potential when the parents do their job properly. Please watch this video and also watch part number 1. I can guarantee you, you will be better for it. You will. That's a guarantee.
Я буду сказать большой на историю России. Советский Союз был очень большая и хороший. И в 1992 году Советский Союз распался. И ты знаешь, когда Буш был президент, Буш распался СССР. Сейчас Россия это Россия, нету Советский Союз. Когда был Советский Союз, столица Советский Союз был Москва, как сейчас. Сейчас Россия и другой республики, они очень хорошо республики, как СССР. Я был когда-то странной игрушкой безымянной. У нас один люди, он был очень злой. Это Адольф Гитлер. Адольф Гитлер, он убил многих людей. И на Вторая мировая война Россия возвратила многие страны. Это Михаил Горбачев. И Михаил Горбачев был первый и последний президент в СССР.
I have heard people that speak these languages as their native tongues say that her enunciation, her accent, everything is on point. She's probably not perfect, and I'm sure some hater might want to point out that she's not perfect, but my God, she's a child. She has so much to offer this world. The least we can do is give her her props and congratulate her.
But I'm serious! Let's go check Toto right up in the back of the lake. Just because Toto gets in our garden, stays her old nasty, stinky, dirty cat.
Now, Dorothy, stop imagining things. You always fuss over nothing. Now just go to a place where you won't get into any trouble.
A place where I won't get into any trouble. Toto, do you suppose there's such a place, Toto? There must be somewhere over the rainbow way up high. There's a lake that I've heard of once in a lullaby. If it's somewhere over the rainbow, sky that's blue, and the dreams that are there behind me.
لكن لك أشياء كثيرة تحب أن تكونين معه. كيف ذلك؟
ماذا؟
لديك أشياء كثيرة تحب أن تكونين مثيرة.
نعم.
نعم.
أنا ماما تقول أنني يمكن أن أكون كل شيء.
Because mommy told me that I can be anything I want to be. I have featured a number of videos, and I will continue to do this, featuring children who are a stellar example of what can be with hope. The common denominator in every single case, and this is almost without exception. I have never seen anything wherein there are not exceptions. But exceptions never disprove a fact. So almost without exception, the common denominator in every case with these exceptional children goes back to the parents. Without exception, almost. Do you realize that the only reason that Tiger Woods is one of the greatest golfers of today is because when he was 2 years old, his father started teaching him to play golf? Do you realize that the only reason that Venus and Serena Williams are both tennis champions is because before they were even born, his father found out, he went to a tennis match, and he found out how much money they earned to play that game. I think it was just $30-something thousand to the winner. He was so impressed with that he made a vow that he would do two things. Number one, he would learn how to play tennis himself because he had no idea. And he would learn to play tennis, and he learned from a video. He vowed that he would learn to play tennis for one and only for one reason, and that is so that the next children that he had, because he knew he would have more, whether they were boys or girls, that he would teach them to play tennis so that they could be world champions. And his motivation was, anybody that can make that much money just playing a game, I need to teach my kids, the next kids I have, how to play that game. You may not, many of you may not know about this, but I'm a martial arts proponent, and I've been practicing for quite some time, since I was about 14 years of age. And I've trained in many systems with many people, and I trained with the Gracies at the Gracie Academy in Torrance, California. I actually started training with them back before the UFC began, the year before they began the UFC. And I know the Gracie family well, at least some of them, the ones that live in California. There are so many, I haven't even seen all of them. But one thing they have in common is that every single Gracie, every single one, without exception, is exceptional at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not even going to call it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. In fact, all Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. It's their family that started it. The reason they are all good is because they start training their children, particularly the boys, from before they can even walk. Literally before they can walk. They are learning jiu-jitsu. The babies don't even realize they're learning jiu-jitsu. And I know this out of the mouth of Orion Gracie himself. He told me this, that's what they do. They're playing games with their children at the same time they're teaching them jiu-jitsu. And I'm saying that to bring up a point. It's not a coincidence that Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, is as good as he is. And if you ever have seen him move, he moves a lot like his dad. And his dad died when he was still very young, but there are pictures of him training his son from a young age. It is this mentoring that parents give their children, and they follow in those footsteps. I mean, when she interviewed this girl, why do you love to sing? And she says, my mother would sing to me. It always goes back to the parents. And that's why I am so saddened to see so many children coming into this world without having a fair chance because of the parents they have. Before we can get to the children, we have to get to the parents. And get the parents to recognize that they're not doing a good job when they're not. That even their best, in many cases, is not good enough. Someone needs to tell them that. As good of a mother as this mother is, you see that she brings in all types of mentors and tutors to train her daughter. In so many cases, the only example or role model or teacher at home that a child has is the parent, and the parents are not capable of leading their child to excellence. And I say this particularly to the single mothers, particularly if you have boys. Particularly if you have boys and you're a single mother. You cannot be a father, and therefore you cannot teach a boy to be a man. You can talk about it all day long, but you can't be it. You see, and manhood for boys is not learned by anyone talking about it or preaching about it. It is learned through emulation. Boys emulate that which they see. And mothers, not only are you not a man, but if you are a single mother, unless you're either divorced or widowed, think about the fact that you brought children into this world and they do not have a father. So not only can you not be a father, but I question even your knowledge of telling your boys about being a real man. Because in many cases, you did not even do a good job at selecting a real man to lay down with and have children by. So for that reason also, you may not be equipped to even tell your boys what a real man is, let alone show them. I'm not saying that to denigrate or insult you. I'm saying it because it's true. Acknowledge that. None of us are perfect. I'm the first one to tell you that I'm not perfect. So here's my advice to you, my admonition. At the very least, allow your boys to be exposed to real men. And like I said, some of you, and that includes mothers and fathers, have no clue as to even what a real man looks like or what a real man is. And even if you knew, that's not something boys typically learn because mommy told me what a real man is and she told me to be a real man. No. Let me tell you this. My son is a real man. He's 23. Ask my son why he's a real man. He'll tell you. It's all going to come back to his dad. Ask me and I'll tell you. It goes back to my dad. My dad didn't even talk that much. He didn't have to. Because boys learn from emulation. Emulating means that you copy that which you see. My dad didn't have to tell me what a real man was. All he had to do was be one. And I lived my life from that point. I even still do, and he's 80 years old, emulating the example that he set down of what a real man is. Let's get back to this beautiful young queen.
Вот это каменная самолет? Nein! Не надо каменная самолет. The أنا مسافر العالم وكلمة كل الناس. Oh, listen.
Why do you speak 9 languages? Because I want to go around the world and talk to everyone I meet. I adore this girl. She is an absolute angel. And I am so proud of her parents, her mother, and her father. I know for a fact, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this queen, she's already getting famous, but she's going to make a big impact on this world. Whether it's through entertaining, or being a spokesperson, or being a politician, or being a doctor, or whatever it is she does. Learn her name, write it down, so that you can tell people you heard about this girl when she was still a child. Because when she's older, everybody's going to know her name. Mark my word.
Hola, mi nombre es Mabou. Yo tengo 7 años. Hoy yo voy a hablar sobre de mis clases de español. Muchos países hablan este idioma, pero mi profesora es de Paraguay, entonces yo voy a enfocarme en Paraguay.
¿Tú podrías cantar una música para mí?
When learning is fun, kids learn, and they look forward to it.
Se encuentra en el corazón de América del Sur. Es un país muy pequeño, pero con muchas riquezas naturales. La capital de esa ciudad es la ciudad de Asunción.